God damn it. Alright. Unmuted. Out of wheat flour already? Holy crap. Burn through that shit pretty quick. Don't really need. Well, it's pretty easy to get to 11:30 when you just keep breaking for 20 minutes every hour or so. They'll never run out of water. And cattail crackers. And grilled spatter dog. Will be what that is used for. Yes, my little beavers. Oh, no worries. I am very into the game, though. How's life been? Any good shows? Music. I've been getting really into Pluribus. Pluribus is really, really, really good. Someone made the joke that it's like Pluribus. The main joke of Pluribus is that the worst person you know is making a great point. And I'm like, I take offense to that because I feel like I would react very similar to how Carol is. Though I would probably be like, I mean, while they're already looting all of the stores to like consolidate like the food and supplies and stuff, like, yeah, well, you want to send a truckload of Best Buy stuff over, and I'd probably be using it. Like, you have the opportunity to eat some of the best meals you've had in your life. They'll send you like. I want to be clear. This is different from what that creepy dude who showed up on the Air Force One thing, because it's like beyond the ethical, moral violations of what he's doing. I don't think he's really considered the implications of a hive mind.
Well, earlier, my comments from my colleague, Mr. Jackson.
But I would be taking advantage of the opportunity for free delivery and basically just like 5-star Uber Eats for free.
And so I'm just wondering, I know you are...
Hey, now Layla Goodrich is here. Oh, that's who that was, I think, that I was trying to figure out who it was.
Mr. Jennis, but perhaps could we have an update on that? Like, this is very serious. People are not allowed to take photos of these proceedings. And so if a photo was taken, has it been deleted and deleted from the deleted file? And do we have assurances from the WIP's office?
First of all, I'm not holding back on anything. I took Mr. Janis's point under advisement earlier. On the point regarding the picture, I take this very seriously, as I did then and I do now, but you know where I've been sitting since the issue was raised half an hour ago, and I have somebody looking into it, and I'll let you know as soon as I find out. So, Mr. Rowe, over to you.
Yeah, but before I get into that, I think it's a point of order as well. There was an accusation made to a Conservative colleague that he was making fun of someone's language here. It was very evident that we were, having a discussion about the merit of the...
No. I mean, you can say whether or not it was fair to say, but that you were making fun of him. What you were making fun of him about, and now we've gotten into now they've kicked up the dilatory stuff to 11. So strap in, folks. I have a feeling we're not going to get much done.
And I will continue on whether
Mr. Rowe, I take your comments very seriously, and as the point I made earlier, I take that very seriously. And if I see you or any other member in this committee, whether it's on your side or the Liberal side, I will address it. I saw what I saw. We can review the tapes. Let's move on. I understand your point. Thank you.
Okay, but point of order, Mr. Chair. The question of whether this photo does or does not exist, whether it has or has not been, we just got back from being gavelled. I am very concerned. This allegation was brought up at least 15, 20 minutes ago. You're telling me that no one from the Liberal Whip's office has been able to
investigated. I've been sitting in this chair.
The information and get it back to you.
I will give you an answer as soon as I have one. I have more than one person looking into it. Raising the point over and over again isn't going to accelerate the process. Mr. Rowe, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been the last few hours and few days trying to get words to paper on this issue, and it has been challenging because it's so frustrating. My leads and my pencil keep breaking. And there's this, it's so frustrating because you've got to ask yourself why. You know, as my friend Grant Jackson mentioned, our ancestors fought for freedom of religion. They went overseas and they fought. They were in the trenches, shoulder to shoulder fighting. And it was alluded by some members of the Liberal caucus that we may be here during Christmas and over the holidays. And I think they said it sarcastically, maybe they never. But, you know, if that's what it takes to make sure that we're fighting for freedom of religion, I know I'll be here. And I'm willing to bet there's going to be 3 or 4 or half a dozen, and maybe even dozens of conservatives that will be here shoulder to shoulder with me, because it's the least we can do out of respect of our ancestors, out of respect for all Canadians and all people in the world who fought for freedom of religion, and we will continue to do that. And I know I will be here come hell or high water. It's very strange. I'm not here to argue, although my passion may seem that. I'm here to try to bring some reason. When C-9 was introduced, I would ask myself, what's the purpose of this bill? It's everything that the bill tried to do, current laws could already do. So it was very interesting. And it almost makes me wonder if this whole amendment backroom deal with the bloc was the actual intent to actually confuse Canadians so that they wouldn't understand what the amendment was, because the amendment wasn't released until later. And a lot of times things like this happen amongst confusion, and it's very difficult. So I'm hoping that we can make some clarifications and things, and I think we've made some clarifications tonight. And you may say, Jonathan, no, things are very clear. But we've got a situation where the PMO, Prime Minister's office, said that the committee went rogue and made a backroom deal with the bloc.
All right.
And gave Mark Miller, but yet they gave Mark Miller a promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
After saying the outrageous thing that the verse in the Bible.
Because also, I mean, that dude I gotta say, showing up in Air Force One was a pretty baller move. And I may not have thought of it, but once I knew that was on the table, that like free air travel, that they'll just fly you wherever if you ask them. And I recognize there's ethical and moral considerations, but they're already putting these people to work. If the entire human race had been enslaved by an alien mind virus, and they're like, yeah, while we're doing the bidding of this alien hive mind, do you need anything from the store? I might get them to get me some things. I mean, while they're at it. Chaotic Fun Standing Model Rivals match is 6v6, so it's the 18 versus 18 more. Ooh. I might test that on the weekend, see if I can get Marvel Rivals to work on my computer. I don't know if I want to start anything chaotic tonight. I gotta get up early. Long day tomorrow.
C-9 in one way or the other, or raising alert about C-9. So I don't think I'm in the echo chamber.
Yeah.
And then I did manage to get this on paper. And
and I finally finished the Norse, like the reboot of God of War. Good game. A little bit late to the party, but it's a good game. That's my hot take. Stuart's hot take of 2025. The maybe 5-year-old God of War game it's pretty good. I liked it. I was like, there were points. The 2018 one, I guess. Is it that old? It can't be 2018 already. Like, no way. The first one when they're doing the Norse stuff. That's 2018? Holy shit, you're right. It's nearly an 8-year-old game now at this point. Good lord. I guess now I gotta play Ragnarok. Or maybe I guess gotta wait another 4 years to play Ragnarok? But there were bits where I'm like, yeah, get him, boy! The sort of like the characterization and the like sort of relationship you see develop between him and Atreus. It's well done. I like it.
On the horn. This is the whole country is speaking out. And I would not want to, I don't know how you can get here in this committee and say that there's no need for Andrew Lawton's bill, for amendment to this bill. And then we see that they're talking two sides of the mouth. You know, oh, well, we don't need this. It's okay because it's protected under Charter rights and freedoms. Well, if that's the case, if religion or freedom is protected by Charter of Freedom, why not have Andrew Lawton's bill introduced? And why take out the religious exemption to begin with? So I will leave it there for today. Maybe I'll come back another day and express some more concerns. But thank you very much, Chair, for having me.
All right, thank you. Back to Mr. Janis.
Well, thank you, Chair. I do have a lot that I want to say on this subject, but I'm also so encouraged by the fact that we have 14 Conservative MPs that are here. It's after 10 o'clock here in Ottawa, and we have a committee needs 4 Conservatives at any given time. And I count around the table 14 Conservative MPs that have come out.
There's no reason for that. There's no need.
Religion. And I want to encourage folks at home that there are so many Conservatives, far more than need to be here, that want to be here to fight.
Well, at least he admitted that there's no need for 14.
Liberty. So I've already spoken a bit tonight. I'm going to cede my time now because I want to hear what so many of these other great folks around the table have to say. But Chair, I'll ask you to re-add me to the list at the bottom, and also, if you can, before we go to the next member, give us an update on your deliberations on how the Justice Minister violated the privileges of this committee by leaking confidential information, and when you plan to make a decision on that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Janis. Okay, who we have?
I've decided when I beat Simon in Expedition 33, then I'll play Elden Ring because it'll prove I'm skilled enough for it. Hell yeah.
I think members of this committee will know that I think freedom of religion and freedom of expression are incredibly important issues.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did he actually say 14?
And I've said on
Mr. Janis, okay.
On say, but Chair, I'll ask you. So far more than need to be freedom of religion, and I want to encourage folks at home that there are so many Conservatives, far more than need to be here, that want to be here to fight for. Encourage folks at home, 13 Conservative MPs, clock here in Ottawa, and we have. A committee needs 4 Conservatives at any given time, and I count around the table 14 Conservative MPs.
Why?
Canadians want. My vote is absolutely yes.
Mr. Gill?
I would say strong yes to this because C-14 is very important, and this is what we need to do at this point.
Mr. Lawton?
we need to fix the bail system. I vote yes.
Monsieur Fortin?
No. Okay, so Mr. Lawton, thank you. So we're now on to Mr. Holman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I would like to just say I speak here in honor on behalf of the people of London Fanshawe, but also for all Canadians, as attacks on freedoms is detriment to the democracy.
Don Tremont.
Speak.
Oh, Kurt Holman. That's who it was.
To the freedom of religion and freedom of expression on the table. I, like my
Not
conservative
Fraser
colleagues,
told
will
me.
stand up.
I knew it was too
shoulder
much
to
hair.
shoulder to defend
It seemed
the
like too much
freedoms that
hair
all
from the
of our
photo.
Canadians do not take for granted, but we do take
Not
it
to say
as
Tommy
part
doesn't have a lot of hair, but he had a
process
shorter
of being
haircut.
Canadians.
And the hairstyle,
With
it
regards
like,
about myself, yes, I was recently elected as Member of Parliament for London Fanshawe back in
Is this, like,
April
taller?
of this year,
You know what I mean?
2025. But I come from a small
like-
town of Forest, Ontario, in between London, Ontario, and Sarnia, and it is a population.
I've
of
heard
2,800.
detriment a few
It's
times.
famous for being the
It's a
oldest
detriment
running
to
movie theater
progress,
in the world.
sort of thing.
It was opened in 1917, just before the age
It's
of
not
the
super
talkies.
common,
and the
but-
reason I bring up the opening age of 1917 is yes, it was Canada then, and we had the freedom of religion. Fast forward to 2025, and now there's concerns at this committee where we will lose freedom of aspects of freedom of religion and also freedom of expression. On top of that, growing in a small town, I went to an elementary school, a Catholic elementary school, where yes, it was a Catholic elementary school, but we did learn the the various religions that are in modern Canadian culture, even to today. Various Christian religions, Catholicism, Baptism, Anglicanism, the United Church that my fellow colleague MP Jackson mentioned. There's also religions of Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists, etc., etc. And now we stand here at this committee with concerns about those religious freedoms. And that is why I'm speaking here with the concern regarding Bill C-9 and the block amendment of BQ3 and the attack of freedom of religion and freedom of expression. The concern that people of faith could be imprisoned for expressing deeply held religious beliefs that the government finds offensive. What the government may find offensive is so vague, it is alarming. That's it. Just whatever the government may find offensive. And so on that note, there's a few items that stand out. Though some may find these beliefs objectionable, old-fashioned, or even hateful, free country does not
3
criminalize
days
the
till
expression of
Badwater
sincerely
just
held religious doctrines.
screws everything up.
2, we debate. As a civil democracy, we debate people we disagree with,
Just
not
kills
silence or
everything.
test them. 3, the courts have been clear that violence and calls to violence are not and never have been protected as free expression and are not in good faith as the defense requires. And 4, this change will expose people of faith to criminal prosecution for the simple act of quoting their own sacred texts in person, in public, or online. I also want to share some testimony quotes that was shared with the committee. First of all, from Derek Ross, Executive Director of Christian Legal Fellowship. And he says, quote, "The courts have been very clear that one cannot simply embed a hateful message in a so-called prayer and expect to receive the benefit of that defense. The courts have specifically said that it is not permitted." Second quote, from Noah Shack, Chief Executive Officer, Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs. "I'll just say that the jurisprudence is clear that the religion defense cannot be used as a Trojan horse to allow otherwise hateful speech to come through." And another statement on regards of Imam Adil Chakari. "He committed at least 2 offenses. There's the willful promotion of hatred against an identifiable group, and he has also committed the offense of inciting hatred against an identifiable group likely to lead to a breach of the peace. I heard the position was taken that he was expressing a view on a religious subject. That's nonsense. The defense would not be available to him. It wasn't made in good faith, and it was simply the willful promotion of hatred." That quote comes from Mark Sandler, one of Canada's most respected and prominent criminal lawyers. So additionally on that note, inciting violence from one person to another group or another person is already embedded in the criminal code, not protected by freedom of religion. So with regard to this bill of C-9, why are we even here tonight? What is the point of this bill when the aspects that we're debating about is already part of the criminal code? And I also want to add, I've received many letters from my constituents in London, Fanshawe, and I want to share one of the letters that was emailed to me. It was from a gentleman named Paul. It says, "Bill C-9 represents an unacceptable assault on free expression in Canada. This bill would give the government the power to criminally prosecute Canadians for their opinions, lower the bar of what legally constitutes hate, quote-unquote, and strip away vital safeguards that keep authorities from weaponizing laws against dissenters. It risks turning controversial memes into crimes and silencing open debate through fear of prosecution."
Controversial memes, I think, might be the tell there. What kind of memes?
Stand for freedom of expression and do everything in your power to stop Bill C-9 from becoming law. And to Paul, again, I am here at the Justice Committee. I'm agreeing with you that we have to defend the freedom of religion and we have to defend the freedom of expression. We, as in my conservative colleagues, standing up for these freedoms. And as I close, another concern I have is the Liberals and the Bloc going down a slippery slope, slowly taking away these freedoms. And I have to ask, what's next? It is December. It is the holiday season. Should we be concerned that the role of singing traditional Christmas songs?
Oh my God.
Like, for example, the songs that we hear every year, such as "O Holy Night," "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," "All Come All Ye Faithful." And I'm not talking about just Christian songs. Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, which has been around for 30 years now. If I sing that, do I have to fear of being prosecuted going to jail.
Can you point out which part of those songs is hateful to an identifiable group? I mean, I don't even think there's even anything that bad in 8 Crazy Nights. I was trying to think if there's anything that you could like maybe stretch in 8 Crazy Nights, but I don't even think so. Because like even like most of them are probably like, I have to look at the lyrics, but like I would imagine most of those are even like if they're targeting any identifiable groups, it's jokes like making fun of like Jewish people because it's a movie about Hanukkah. That would be my guess. Camera. That better? That works. Seems better. No, I don't think that. I don't know. I don't even know if you could even stretch that one. I was trying to think of a way I could be like I could like bad faith interpret that one, but I'm like I can't even think of one.
The freedom to speak one's faith was put at risk.
8 Crazy Nights is definitely a pretty good Hanukkah movie. What other Hanukkah movies are there? Sure, there's others, but like what other ones are? Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, that's not a movie though. That wouldn't count. It's a Hanukkah special, but what other Hanukkah movies are there?
Risk. Incredibly, the Liberals in the bloc have struck a deal to remove key safeguards in the criminal code. Safeguards that protect Canadians who speak in good faith about their religious beliefs. Safeguards the Supreme Court of Canada has already said are necessary to keep our hate speech laws constitutional. Necessary.
We're going to discount any like Lifetime movies. I'm talking about like actual like, sorry Lifetime, but like mainstream movies that like you might have gone to see in theaters. All right, so I think the first two are out. So 8 Crazy Nights. Full Court Miracle. I forgot about that one. I think I watched that on Family Channel. Forgot about Full Court Miracle. Family Channel, Disney Channel movies for sure count. The Night Before, there you go. That fully counts. That's a Christmas Hanukkah movie. Christmaka. American Tail, how could we forget? Or is that it's very much a metaphor for the Jewish experience, but would you say it's specifically a Hanukkah movie? Again, that's just a Jewish movie. That's again, they're stretching the definition a little bit here. I'm talking about like holiday movies. A Serious Man. I haven't seen A Serious Man, but I would imagine that really stretches the spirit of what we're looking for here. Well, I've seen this one, but like I think the conceit of it is like it's 3 friends who get together because it was like I think there was something to do with like Seth Rogen's character because he was Jewish. He was always like he felt left out, so they do like a big like sort of like merger party. So there's like it's not just because. I mean, it kind of is just because Rogen's in it, but there's I would say this fits the spirit of the what we're looking for much more than American Pickle. I again haven't seen, or even it says right here, it's not specifically a Hanukkah movie per se, but it's funny. Okay, so you're not getting what we're asking for here. It's not what we're looking for. I mean, I'm sure it looked like a funny movie. It's just we're looking for Hanukkah movies specifically.
Not optional. After the amendments supported by the Liberals and the Bloc passed, we're now...
Call Me By Your Name? Now, I for sure haven't seen Call Me By Your Name, but there's no way. There's no way. Two Jewish main characters, but also ending scene. If this is the ending scene, I feel like, again, wildly stretching the spirit of what we're looking for here. The Hebrew hammer. What? The 2003 comedy focused on the Jewish Mordecai Jewish. That's you gotta put Jewish boy. You can't just say that feels like that. There's a syntax error that makes me feel very uncomfortable. The Jewish boy Mordecai Carver, who is determined to say Hanukkah from the evil Damien Claus, the deviant son of Santa. See, again, I've never heard of this movie. Seems like a very independent film. 100% meets the spirit of what we're looking for here. Now I'm hoping that this is not just blatantly anti-Semitic, because that does sound like that is kind of a funny setup for a film. Okay.
Trying to create some goodwill here. Come on, think, people, think.
What about Mordecai Jefferson Carver?
That's an impressive, like, cast pull. I would really not exactly like, I mean, apologies to this woman, I'm drawing a blank, but like, it's someone I recognize, I think, which is, and I'm getting a little I can't tell if this is gonna be safe for the stream, so we're just gonna leave there on a high note. We're gonna move on. Full Court Miracle again. Before we establish this, how did we forget Meet the Fockers? But wait, is there?
Circle joins my family circle, they'll form a chain.
Is it during?
That is my father.
See, again, it's in California, so that could be December still.
Ben's father.
I can't remember.
No. What are you so shy of?
Are they there for the holidays?
That's a good icebreaker.
Hello, I'm Roz Fokker.
Look, son, I've displayed all your awards.
I didn't know they made 9th place ribbons.
They have them up to 10th place. There's a bunch of them on the A for Effort shelf there.
My family is a little quirky.
I'm a sex therapist who
I
specializes.
can't remember.
Is very worried there's pictures of
Because again, if they're just meeting his parents, and it's not centered around Hanukkah, does not meet the spirit of what we're looking for. We'll watch this trailer of this and we'll determine whether this is more of a Christmas movie.
Children were snuggled, their presents.
So far, looking like we might be disqualifying this. May not. Maybe.
It's about 3 dudes, 3 bros, Three ride-or-die homies.
Gentlemen, 14 years ago to this very night, I lost my parents. You guys have been with me every single
Oh wait,
since then.
never mind.
You knew. But tonight, we have decided to end this tradition.
Then never mind.
Chris is just too famous to hang out with us anymore. And Isaac's about to have a baby.
You have been such a rock throughout this.
Is this cocaine? You haven't done cocaine for...
We're going to the best Christmas party in New York City. So that gives us several hours to hit
Feeling
it.
very heavily Christmas coded. I think your suspicion might have been right.
To the end of an era.
I think the cocaine and the mushrooms are reacting poorly.
You're looking
Spiony.
your right eye is working.
But this may just be a Christmas movie with Seth Rogen in it.
Still weird. Weirder.
You guys missed her singing Miley Cyrus. She destroyed Wrecking Ball.
You still like that song?
Everybody does. You can cry to it.
Who's that guy?
What guy?
The guy on the cross.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Is that what they think we did to him?
Yeah.
Can they tell I'm Jewish?
Yes. Your sweater. Don't you dare throw
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna have to, unfortunately, we're gonna have to cut The Night Before from our list. Lifetime holiday movie again. Disqualified. Okay, so they've said film's theme. Okay, so it's, yeah, so again, while it's not about Hanukkah, I'm sorry again, Seth Rogen. You, including Seth Rogen and having him be a Jewish character in and of itself is not enough to qualify as a Hanukkah movie. Alright, so what we got? So I think the list we got 8 Crazy Nights. A Full Court Miracle. We're going to give the Hebrew Hammer the benefit of the doubt that it doesn't get bad in the next 2 minutes of the trailer. Give it an honorable mention. That wasn't it. No, there was... So 8 Crazy Nights, Full Court Miracle... I guess it's like, by this standards, there's really two, you would say, mainstream, non-Lifetime Hanukkah movies. Which feels low.
Code have been stripped away. Safeguards that protected Canadians of faith. Those protections existed for a simple reason. Because people of faith in this country hold deep, sincere beliefs about morality, about human nature, about right and wrong. And some Canadians agree with those beliefs, while others disagree. But in a free society, we debate ideas. We don't jail people for them. With the earlier amendment now adopted, the risk is real that people could be invested.
But then again, Jewish people, like the Jewish tradition, I guess, has one of the best holiday movies of all time, which is Charlton Heston's The Ten Commandments. Which I used to watch. It was on TV, I guess. I think it probably took me an embarrassing long time to be like, I figure out why it was always being played around Easter, and it's like, oh yeah, Passover's around the same time, isn't it? Is it? When is Passover? Am I dumb? Yes. I mean, if we're gonna do like Jewish coded movies, that's probably a lot more. But we had very strict parameters we were looking for. Because what is it, what was the term for like the the Jewish concept of hell. It's not. It's like I think the term was spiritual washing machine, and you could imagine that he's just going through a washing machine cycle over and over again until he's finally a good person. I mean, probably of the holiday movies in the specifically Christian canon of the Christmas variety, it's the Christmas Carol. It's a very specific one. It's the old one. Carol movie. I think it's from the 50s. With Sims. Alistair Sim, the goat, Ebenezer Scrooge. Where is it? Just play like a trailer. The definitive Christmas Carol. I know that's right.
Let's talk about Scrooge, the 1951 British classic
God damn it.
directed by Brian.
Get out of my face. This AI nonsense. Just give me a trailer. Because it's like, this is supposed to be a scary story. It's a ghost story. And yes, the Muppet, like, it's the Alistair Sims Christmas Carol. Muppets Christmas Carol, number 2. Wild swings in tone. However, but being a purist, this is what Christmas Carol is supposed to be. It's supposed to be scary. This thing scared the crap out of me as a youngin. When the goddamn ghost of Christmas Future was terrifying. He was just death. He was death incarnate. And it's all black and white, and it's just all shadows everywhere.
Not unless you give me more time. Did I ask you for more time to lend you the money? Oh, no, sir.
Lend you the money?
You asked me for more time to pay it back.
Hard and sharp as flint he was. You ask Bob Cratchit about him. This timid and intimidated little clerk is portrayed by Mervyn John. Mrs. Cratchit by Hermione Baddeley. The little lame boy, the great-hearted Tiny Tim.
See, I'm grinning ear to ear just seeing Tiny Tim. This movie's great.
Played by Glyn Dearman. Michael Hordern gives a spirited portrayal of Jacob Marley, the ghost who changes Scrooge from sinner to saint.
And, like, Alistair Sims does a just all-time historic, like, lose-your-mind crash out. That's definitely got to be on the watch list.
In delightful character roles are Jack Warner and Kathleen Harrison.
Don't be violent, Mr. Scrooge, sir. You forced me to scream for the beadle.
The beadle, madam? A fig for the beadle.
A guinea? Here, what for?
Sir, to be so happy.
So good. If you've never seen this one, I think it's on Prime. Let's see what's streaming. Oh. Yeah, I think it's on Prime. It's great. That's my Christmas Carol. I mean, I guess we're kind of in that sort of mind space, so go for it.
investigated and prosecuted, even face up to...
There was a point in my career where my city of Brantford, the largest...
As I understand it, that's the general thrust of the holiday.
One homicide on its books.
Well, wait. Isn't Passover specifically the celebration of I forget which plague it is, but when the passage, that it takes its name from the passing over of I guess it was the Holy Spirit or whatever that came over and killed all the firstborn Egyptians, because the Jewish households put the sheep's blood. I've seen 10 Commandments so many goddamn times. I know that story fucking inside and out. At least the way it's depicted in that one. Or I guess I imagine that's what it was from. Is okay, so you're just talking generalities. Sorry, I have to be pedantic. So Moon Knight is a Jewish man working for an Egyptian god. Is it awkward between MK and Khonshu? Well, so that's the thing where it's they were I mean, I'm not about to defend Pharaoh, because whatever Jewish people were living in Egypt at the time would have been in bondage to the Pharaoh, because everything in Egypt belonged to Pharaoh. So if any other group in Egypt at that time would be like, hey, we want to go, he'd be like, no, you're a very important part of my workforce, i.e. my slaves. Though, again, it would have been because it's a lot of the labor force, and they have archaeological sites for this. A lot, the vast majority of the workforce building those pyramids would have been the laborers who would have been working on the farms just in the off season. So when they weren't working the farms to make enough food to make it through another year, once they'd done that, then they go and they build the pyramids, and they go from all the farmland and into these sort of basically temporary, or I guess not even temporary. They just sort of be temporary in terms of how long they would live there. I mean, I feel I view the god, if we're talking about polytheism, I think the sort of, I like the Greeks' understanding of the gods, where they're sort of they're petty, they're very human-like, they're very like us, they're just way more powerful. Or that we're like them, we reflect how they behave, they just have way more power than us. We get all of our worst qualities from them, we also get all of our best qualities from them. They didn't view their gods as these perfect divine beings. And in that sense, I think Khonshu and Moon Knight, Khonshu would be you know what, you won that one. I tried my trick where I turned the with the snakes. I did all that's in the Prince of Egypt, where that would have been Khonshu giving those magicians all those spells and stuff, and Moon Knight's god won in the god battle. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you could say God still did the last plague. He just hired out the angel of death. You could say God didn't do whichever plague was the frogs. The frogs did the plague. Angel of death was just the tool through which God sent the plague to punish Egypt. Someone should recut. This is a very stupid idea I just had. but someone should like make a montage of the Prince of Egypt of all the plagues, and then redub it with Taylor Swift's "Look What You Made Me Do." If anyone is watching this now or in the future and has editing abilities, please do that. It would be very funny. It would be funny if it was just one giant like frog. Speaking of, if you have Prime, watch the Mighty Nine. It's the Critical Role. They definitely want me to call it. They like when they're making it, especially with the intro. It's like they want me to call this an anime. As a purist, I cannot call it an anime. It was made by Western hands, but it's a Western inspired, anime inspired Western cartoon.
To echo the words of my colleague, Mr. Lawton, you know, we can continue this. We are not going to give up. I think the Liberal bench should know that by now. But what we can do as a committee is do something collaboratively and something that Canada has been asking for close to a decade. Something that I have championed over the last 4 years. So with that in mind, Mr. Chair, I am resurrecting my motion to prioritize the consideration of Bill C-14, the Bail and Sentencing Reform Act, and work together to report the bill to the House at the earliest opportunity, and I'm seeking unanimous consent at this time.
It doesn't come from the Honshu region of Japan. It's not real anime.
Anthony Housefather.
Thank you, Mr. Brock.
That says everything that we need to know, that they do not prioritize, have never prioritized
thank you, Mr.
community safety. Thank you, Mr. Housefather.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, discount Seth Rogen.
Mr.
I try my best.
Okay. All right. Enough.
It's getting testy.
Ms. Lansman, you have the floor.
Melissa Lanceman's here now.
I'll take my time on the floor if the Liberal members opposite stop obstructing the
And your colleague
committee.
to your left. It's happening on both sides, to be fair. So.
The obstruction on the committee, frankly, of studying and of looking at the Liberal bail system, which we have talked about over and over tonight, as not seen as a priority. In fact, it's odd to me that that Liberals would stand in the House and talk about the obstruction of their own Liberal bail laws while obstructing their own legislation at committee by prioritizing what we learned last week, and we'll start from the beginning. We learned last week as a secret deal between the Liberals and the Bloc to eliminate the obvious safeguards that we've had in this country for a number of years, for a number of decades, on the expression of religious freedom. And when you come to Parliament, I think if you grew up in a background like I think many of us grew up in communities, I was raised by my community and indeed my family who moved to this country, frankly, so they didn't have to practice religion behind a curtain, like candles under floorboards, which is both dangerous, but obviously what they would have had to do in the Soviet Union, to be able to practice freely. And I'll have to say, over the better part of the last 2.5 years, we've seen, particularly in the community that I represent, that I come from, an explosion of anti-Semitism. We've seen gunshots into schools. We've seen fire bombings into businesses, protests on a weekly basis in residential neighborhoods. And this is what this is predicated on trying to solve. The problem is that C-9 doesn't do any of that, and it wouldn't.
Only got about
stop
35 minutes left of
and it is sad
clause by clause, so it looks like they're going to be
convince the
using
community
most of
coming in at the 11th
tomorrow.
hour. Remember, when Bill C-9 was introduced, it was a day after the government recognized a Palestinian state. That's exactly why C-9 got to an announcement when it did, which is shameful in its own right, to try to distract from the absolute vitriolic relationship that this government has created with the Jewish community and a longstanding Democratic ally. That's why C-9 was introduced. But particularly on this amendment, there is no reason why anybody should come here
it's
and
not
fight
intentional.
on behalf of their community. Fight the scourge of anti-Semitism in the community, fight what's going on in the streets, fight what's going on in the schools, in our universities, in every institution, in labor unions, in our,
Trying to put it back on.
university
1
faculty
second.
clubs, in police forces themselves now. If you don't do it on the basis of something that you believe, and taking away the right to believe that, I think is a very, very big problem in the country. And I don't think that anybody would fight the fight that our party, that our leader, that I have been fighting for the better part of 2 years, if they didn't do it from a place of deep religious belief. Because this isn't about a state or a conflict on the other side of the world. It is rooted in the value of Torah and religious scripture. Not necessarily if you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Hindu, if you're
Defend
Sikh.
Paul Dano.
If you're not fighting for the things that you believe in, and if you're not fighting on the basis of that, and you're not fighting to protect it, then there's no point of doing any of this at all. And that's why I think Mr. Lawton's amendment is important. What I don't understand is how it could be interpreted as anything other than the protection of freedom. Anything other than the protection of freedom to believe what you want to believe. Because none of what has been expressed by either the Bloc or frankly the Liberals now who have aligned themselves with the Bloc, who used to stand up against this stuff, none of this would have been, none of what they have said would be prosecuted, would actually have been prosecuted. Like this was already against the law. And we see in communities over and over again, every weekend after every weekend, and I'm oftentimes the only one to stand up and denounce it. And at great peril. And it's because fundamentally I believe that you should be able to practice your religion in this country. You should be able to hear your religion preached. You should be able to teach it in school because it is a fundamental value of why we fight for the things that we fight for. I'll tell you, my background is not dissimilar
I guess we're
to
watching
the
the rest
background
of it.
so many other Canadians. My parents came here from the former Soviet Union. My father was an uncredentialed engineer. He drove a taxi, put my mom through school. And in one generation, you go from the front seat of a taxi to the front row of Parliament Hill. That can only happen here. And one of the fundamental reasons they moved here is so that they can be who they wanted to be, practice the religion that they wanted to practice out in the open. So they weren't subjugated into a corner where Jews, frankly, in the Soviet Union were subjugated to punishment or, frankly, much worse throughout history. They came here for one of those freedoms. They came here to be able to raise their children the way they wanted to be able to stand up for what they believed in, and to be able to have that protected in law. And to watch the party that once believed in all of those things too line up with the Bloc and put all of that in jeopardy, you have to wonder if saying anything at all against hate in this country is ever going to be worth it with members opposite in this committee. We've said these things, we've defended communities at great peril to our own safety, to the safety of our families, and I think all of that is worth it. And I think all of that is worth it, predicated on the fact that you would be protecting the fundamental freedom to believe what you want to believe in this country. And I don't have to believe what everybody else believes, and nobody has to believe what I believe, but I should believe in the right to protect it, because without that, we lose it all here. Mr. Chair, I think that Mr. Lawton's amendment on this is critical. And it is critical to send a message to all Canadians who have faith, those, frankly, who don't, to tell the world, to tell the rest of the G7, the G20, if you will, that this is a country based on the rule of law, democracy, freedom, the values that we used to hold as shared values. And I wouldn't want to think that the last 2 years of advocacy on behalf of any community, whether it's the community that I come from or any other one that I have stood up for and fought for, would be in jeopardy because the Liberals want to make a deal with the Bloc. I can't
It is worth it for me, at
that
least,
anybody
because then I don't have to
who
go
has
back
stood
and
up
watch
for
it
their
tomorrow.
community could support such an amendment, would support making a deal to eliminate any of the safeguards of something that is the critical center of the way in which many of us were raised, in the way in which many of us live in our communities, interact with our communities. If the thought that you have ever going in to a place of worship is what that person is saying, what the clergy at the front of the room saying, criminal or not, I think we have a big, big problem in this country. And we will sit here day after day and hour after hour. And I have spoken to 50 rabbis today, and I will speak to 50 more before tomorrow is over. And they too will express their concern on this. They too will express the same concerns that all clergy in this country will express on this piece of legislation, or on this amendment, frankly. We haven't even gotten to sort of how it all started in the rest of Bill C-9. But to all of those watching, particularly in the Jewish community, if you think this legislation will protect you,
Guys, you want to see something funny?
it will be you.
So, know how Polyev voted electronically? Okay, I don't want to spoil it. So Scheer was sort of challenged on this earlier today.
MOU. I think
after the MOU.
I just can't believe the Liberals voted against their own MOU. I think what's clear now is that Mark Carney.
Why was Pierre Poilievre not in the House, sir? Why was Pierre Poilievre not in the House?
What's clear is that Mark Carney has no intention of actually getting a pipeline.
Why did your leader vote virtually on his own motion, sir?
I just can't believe the Liberals.
He was apparently down the street at the Metropolitan Brasserie for a going away party for Georgianne B. I don't just maybe a conservative staffer, maybe. But I guess this is where he was instead of voting on his own amendment. Interesting.
Used against you. It will be used, the very same people who purport to protect the community will use this legislation against you. It happened on Bill C-63, and they were wrong on that. You cannot have freedom in this country when you curtail freedom. You cannot have safety and security for a community if you're going to pick and choose which verses out of which books you're going to defend. And I will not stop sitting here, not a single hour of a single day. My life has changed over the last number of years, and it's for standing up for a community and a community that I believe in. And there is no chance that being under 24-hour RCMP protection is ever not going to be worth it. I will continue to say the things out loud that many of my colleagues and many in government and far too close to government do not have the courage to say. And I will never be silenced from saying it, not by this amendment and not by any piece of legislation that we will ever allow to come through this House. So with that, Mr. Chair, I am happy to have other colleagues who have come here, who have canceled all of their plans, and I'm sure are happy to cancel all of the rest. And for those who can't do this on Christmas Eve, I am happy to fill that role. I can do it on Christmas Day. I can do it every other single day of the week, and I'm happy to sit in for my colleagues who have stood up for me when this government did not. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to cede my time to many of the other Conservative members that are here fighting for your rights.
You're here.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. Okay, we have Mr. Jennis again, and then Mr. Viersen.
All right, Chair. I think I'm going to be brief again and go to the bottom of the list because I know Mr. Viersen is eager to get in on this, and I was going to preempt his comments by discussing how the investiture crisis was more important for the development of notions of separation of church and state than the Reformation was, and I know he would be interested in that. But I'll pick up on that later on. So if you can add me to the list again right after you update the committee on how you're planning and when you're planning on ruling on the Minister of Justice's violations of the privileges of this committee by leaking documents that were clearly the property of the committee. So if you can provide an update to the committee on when you're going to rule on the Justice Minister violating the privileges of this committee.
It was already public knowledge.
From Mr. Viersen, and then following up once it becomes my turn again.
I'm going to ask Mr. Lawrence to get a pen and paper and write down, it's under advisement, so every time Mr. Jennis speaks, you can just slide it in front of him for the rest of the evening. Thank you. Mr. Viersen, we're pleased to have you at the Justice Committee. I've been a member of this committee for some time, and we've been anxiously waiting you to appear. In fact, we were trying to get you to come here last year for your own private members bill, which was the last time the Conservatives filibustered this committee. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm not Wade Chang, so if I could just get, I did try to take it down, but I would just like it to be either moved over or out of the, thank you, sir.
What are you doing?
Well, sir, could you just, I'm not Wade Chang.
I'm a regular member of this committee.
That's.
Mr. Viersen, I addressed you as Mr. Viersen.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Let's not make a mockery of the proceeding. You have the floor, please.
I'm not making a mockery.
You
I'm
are.
just noting.
Please go ahead.
I'm just noting that my name is not in front of me, and it says Mr. Wade Chang.
That's your business.
That is not my name. And so when it shows,
we've established that now. Yeah. You've known that for your whole life. We now all know that, and so does everybody watching the committee now. So if you want to address the amendment at hand, do so. Otherwise, I'll move to the next speaker.
Chair, is this another matter of privilege? Could you take this under advisement as well?
What is fucking happening?
Mr. Chair, I appreciate that. You
Chaos reigns.
And what my name is, and I'm appreciative that you recognize me.
Now it's in front of you, so you'll make no mistake yourself. So
no,
just keep looking at it, and you remind.
insane to ask whether condemning hatred when your religious texts or doctrines may say that hatred towards certain people is okay.
My name, with the absence of my name there, it would look like Mr. Chang was speaking to folks that don't know who Mr. Chang is or who I am. And so I...
Well, maybe the problem is that there's goddamn double digits of you.
But he is not in this shot as I am. So thank you. And that is... however, my name is now there. We should be good to go forward. And that was never my intention.
Mr. Vierson, this is very enlightening, but please get to the point.
This was never...
Your name is there. We know your name. Everybody knows your name. Get to the point.
Mr. Chair, this was never my intention to raise this. I was merely trying to move his name out of the picture shot, and that started an argument that I was
And
not...
you did it in a very rude manner.
Well, I thank you, Mr. Chair. To my. The only
person rude is Mr. Chang.
I don't know. No, I had a plan of where to begin, and this is not it, and so I don't know where to begin now. Nonetheless, Mr. Chair, I would like to address the amendment brought forward by Mr. Andrew Lawton. I don't know about you, Mr. Chair, but I don't remember the first time meeting Mr. Lawton, but I do remember listening to Mr. Lawton on a podcast for a lot of time. And so now, even today, when I hear his voice, I think I'm still listening to a podcast, and oftentimes I'm listening to him through one of these earpieces, so it gets me a little discombobulated. But I'm really excited that he is our new colleague here in Parliament, and so I welcome him here. Now, I remember one of the first conversations I had with Mr. Lawton when he got here, and it's always fascinating to me to ask new members of Parliament what they did before and like what motivated them to come onto the field, so to speak. And he said to me, well, defending freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion have been major motivators for him. And I took that for what it was, and I appreciated that, as these are things that I care about as well. And I reflected upon what had motivated me to get involved in the defense of the province of Alberta, the defense of firearm owners, the defense of the Christian faith, were all things that had motivated me. And yet, often you do not get to tangibly capture those things. And so tonight we're debating an amendment by Andrew Lawton, which does precisely the thing that he came here, what he told me he came here to do, was to defend freedom of expression and freedom of religion. It is not often, Mr. Chair, that you get to come to Parliament and do, in as many words, exactly the thing that you came here to do. Now, the fact is that...
Manson said this amendment might make some people of faith ask whether it's worth it to call out hatred something...
Probably many...
Whether it's worth it to call... How would that...
Probably at least 2 years ago.
I don't know how that would...
And Mr. Lawton knew that this was a
say
threat.
it's not worth it to call
he knew
out
this
hatred.
was a threat.
I don't understand that.
More than 5 minutes ago.
Especially if it takes away the religious exemption.
Whenever he got to draft this amendment, he knew that this was a threat. And that's what motivated him to run. And so I guess that speaks a little bit to the trajectory that the Liberal government has put this country on. That speaks to when we open our eyes and look around us, see what's happening to our country. Mr. Speaker, I sit on the Veterans Affairs Committee, and we've been dealing with veterans' mental health and the things that drive them to take extreme action. And one of the things that they say is that they don't know what they fought for. They don't know why. They don't recognize the country that they come back to. And I think that's what Mr. Lawton was motivated by as well, is that to build a country that's worth defending, to build a country that I don't know where his grandparents came from, but my grandparents moved here from the Netherlands after being liberated by the Canadians, and they moved to a country that was going to defend freedom, that was going to defend freedom of religion, and that was a motivator for many people. And so I appreciate that Mr. Lawton put his name forward.
Yes, possibly.
For our party. As I think we have been the defenders of freedom, the defenders of freedom of religion. I remember when I first got here, Mr. Speaker, one of the first things the Liberal government did was shut down the Office for Religious Freedom. It had a special ambassador dedicated to the defense of freedom of religion. One of the first things the Liberal government did. Now, the Liberal government has not been known to be a spendthrift government. They have been known to run deficits for as long as I've been around here. They said they were going to be modest deficits. That has definitely not been the case, but they did not seem to have fiscal responsibility in their repertoire. But nonetheless, the thing they had to cut right off the get-go was the Office for Religious Freedom. And so perhaps that was one of the tipping point, the thing that Mr. Lawton noticed is like the religious freedom of expression is under attack. We've seen multiple things coming through through the Liberal government, through the courts, and the Liberal government failing to defend it when it comes to religious freedom. We've seen prolonged attacks upon religious organizations with the summer jobs attestation. And again, in that situation, the Liberals deny and say that's not what's actually happening. And then when it eventually comes out that no, that is indeed what's happening, then they back down, pay millions of dollars out to organizations who had sued the government. And then you'd think that would have taught the government a lesson around that with the kind of summer jobs. But no, the next year they take a run at it again with a separate form, a checkbox, and on the Canada Summer Jobs initiative. Now, it seems that they've backed down on that, but then at the Finance Committee, they brought forward two recommendations from the Finance Committee to revoke charitable organizations of their charitable, or religious organizations of their charitable status. And so those are just like the very tangible things, but I think Canadians from across the country have felt the push from this government to
they are really just, they're just,
religious thought,
I mean,
to inside of buildings, inside of places of worship.
Because I guess this is a conservative amendment, so they can control how many, they can just keep having people talk on it, and they can just run out the clock.
Speaker,
so that at least the Liberals can't get this to the Senate before the House rises.
During the pandemic, that police were ready to enter places of worship. So the state encroachment on places of religion, freedom of religion, I think it is with good reason that Mr. Lawton told me that when he first got elected that he was motivated to protect these things. And so I am happy to support the amendment from my colleague, and I look forward to the time when we'll be able to vote on this as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Viersen. Mr. Gill.
I'll go to the bottom of the list and cede my time for other fellow members who want to speak.
Okay, that takes us to Mr. Giovanni then.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I speak, of course, in favor of Mr. Lawton's amendment. You know, tomorrow morning there will be hundreds, if not thousands, of churches across our country that open their doors to feed their neighbors. There will be hundreds, if not thousands, of churches across our country who open their doors to offer counseling to heartbroken couples at risk of separating. There will be hundreds of thousands of churches that open their doors to help people overcome addiction and a whole host of other.
Well, once this clause by clause study is complete, whatever amendments pass and changes to the bill are made by the committee, that would get sent back to the House of Commons, and there'd be like more debate and third reading vote. And obviously they'd I think the government gets to determine whether or not they accept or decline the amendments. I have to double check that. It's getting late. And then after third reading vote, it would move to the Senate. So with technically 3, but most likely 2 days left of sitting in the House of Commons, and they've already scheduled 2 more days of clause by clause study. I don't think it's going to make it.
Or challenges. And the message these churches should be receiving from their government is respect, encouragement, and gratitude for the services they provide for struggling people and for people who need hope. And instead, what they are getting from their government is ridicule, disrespect, and outright attacks on their foundational beliefs, the very beliefs that motivate them to.
Which ones? Which beliefs are you concerned about? Elucidate those. What are the foundational beliefs that you believe will now be considered hate speech?
To be good citizens and good.
Because they know what they are. It just wouldn't make a good soundbite if they said them out loud.
Neighbors, good fathers, good mothers. It's kind of a crazy situation we find ourselves in to even be having this conversation. And in the process of disrespecting these very important Canadian institutions, we have seen hypocrisy exposed on the part of two political parties in this room. On the part of the Bloc Québécois, we see a political party who says they are very concerned about the overreach of the federal government, and yet comes here to Ottawa begging for that federal government to have more power over the people who send them here. Shamefully. Yeah. On you.
Ooh.
You are a hypocrite.
Here we go. Hypocrite.
All right, Mr. Giovanni. I know you just arrived an hour ago. We had a discussion, a thorough discussion earlier on about language and decorum.
Direct insults.
People from all sides agreed not to be making accusations and using language like that.
Oh, so I wasn't here to make that agreement.
Well, okay, but nonetheless, you said it, and it's inappropriate. So I'm going to ask you to apologize.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
All right, well, then we'll move on to the next speaker. Mr. Lawrence, you have the floor.
Point of order, Chair.
No. What's your point of order? What's your point of order?
It's a point of order, Chair.
Maloney is running out of patience, methinks.
First of all, there is no precedent for calling the specific language that Mr. Giovanni used unparliamentary. Members are welcome to disagree with it, but the whole discussion in this bill,
I mean, that is
the fact that speech you might disagree with is not necessarily speech that should
the
be
government, passes legislation that defines criminal law.
No, you've made your point of order. You're now in a debate. I'm going to stop you from speaking now. Mr. Giovanni called a member of parliament a hypocrite. He did not, and
I think that falls under unparliamentary language. When did that happen? When did that happen? Did that happen in this debate?
Sure, please add me to the list.
We're not going to tolerate that type of behavior. Mr. Lawrence, the floor is yours.
Happy to say that again.
Point of order.
Fine, you can challenge my ruling. That's your right.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is why I wasn't sitting in, because I can't. I knew it was going to be like this, and I can't. I get a motive when I'm annoyed. I'd probably be keeping it a little bit more under wraps.
Speaker, if you deprive him of the floor.
But I'd be worried I'd be making faces.
It was adopted as part of a provision that Bardish Chagger brought forward.
All right, thank you, Mr. Genis.
You're welcome.
Be sustained. Madame LeftHandStu.
In favor.
Mr. Chang.
Yes.
Madame Dillon. Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Mr. Jackson.
No.
Mr. Brock.
No.
Mr. Gill.
No.
Mr. Lawton.
Oh, no.
No.
Don't open that.
Mr.
AI
Fontaine.
nonsense.
Hey, come on, Jim. Okay. All right, Mr. Lawrence, you have the floor. All right. Mr. Lawrence, please.
I wish to
Chaos
confirm
reigns.
Mr. Giovanni's comment that the Bloc are hypocrites.
All right, we'll move on. We can do this all night if you want.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Holman, yeah.
Point of order.
Ms. Lansman, yeah.
Mr. Chair, is there a list of words that you can provide the committee that you're not okay with?
If you're going to sit here and call another member of parliament a hypocrite, then yes.
I believe that he
keep doing
called
this all
the.
over
He
again.
did not call another member of parliament
I've
a
ruled on it
hypocrite.
once. I've ruled on it a second
This is
time.
not the same thing.
Didn't he just do it that?
Point of order then.
My point of order is whether there is a list of acceptable words in this committee. Is that where we're at now?
It's not an exhaustive list, so, all right.
What is the list?
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
Mr.
playing all
O'Neill,
mine.
you have the floor.
Point of order. It's the same incident, but it's a different point of order.
Okay, let's hear it.
This isn't directed to the entire committee, just to be clear.
Moved on. The comment made by Mr. Lawrence was not impugning an individual.
No one is
member.
safe
He
from
made a
these.
general comment about a party. There is no precedent at all that I'm aware of, and no standing order that prohibits that, and it is certainly not the same as what you ruled on in the previous member's intervention. We are free in this House and in this committee to make a range of comments about parties.
More footwork, more passion, more passion, more passion, more energy, more footwork.
Join the speech that Mr.
They're just going to be doing this for the next 10 minutes.
May I yield my time to allow the gentleman to continue with his speech?
No, we'll continue with the speakers list if you want, though, if you don't want to speak.
Get back on it, Jamil. Okay.
Monsieur le Président, point d'ordre.
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Go ahead, Mr. Fortin.
Mr. Speaker, I did not hear my colleague, Mr. Giovanni, apologize, and I didn't hear him withdraw his remarks. So I would call for him to withdraw his remarks and for him to apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Fortin, and that's exactly why I took his time away and moved to the next speaker. He refused to apologize, so that's why I moved on.
Speak louder.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. He refused to apologize. Yeah. He refused to retract his comment, and which is why I moved on to the next speaker.
This is, okay. Okay.
Okay, we're back to Mr. Jennings.
Thank you, Chair. I was wondering if I'd be allowed to read a scriptural text that calls someone a hypocrite, or if that would be also deemed unparliamentary and illegal under the relevant legislation. I actually wonder, since I think Mr. Giovanni is coming up on the list again, that I'll ask you to re-add me to the bottom of the list and strike my position for now.
Put it this way, Mr. Giovanni is not going to speak again until he returns.
Okay. Well, Chair, then I would like to raise a question of privilege, because it is not merely a matter of order, but it is a matter of privilege that members be able to speak before committee. It is clearly not, and I know, look, you're relatively new in your position, but your authority as chair is not in right of you as an individual. It comes from the rules. It is a reflection of the office that you hold. And there have been multiple occasions today when you have not respected established rules. And, it is an established principle that members have a right to speak. And if you deprive members arbitrarily of the right to speak, if you end their time, deprive them of the floor, these are matters that are appealable directly to the Speaker of the House. I regrettably can't remember the specific standing order, but someone will tell me in due course, and I know it's in there. That when
I love when Elizabeth May says she's going to do a press conference on just basically both of my story. I'd like that just crosses. Thanks, Miss May. Help them kill two birds with one stone tomorrow with one press conference. It's great.
Of the chair and nullify all subsequent proceedings. In any event, this is a matter of privilege. Mr. Giovanni is a duly elected member of Parliament. You're welcome to disagree with him. Mr. Fortin is welcome to disagree with him. But he has a right to speak. And there are plenty of instances where members, I can think of where Mr. Erskine Smith dropped a few F-bombs at a committee in the last Parliament.
Carney spoke with Zelensky today.
Encouraged to be more appropriate in his language, but he was not deprived of his rights as a member of Parliament. You cannot simply decide to deprive someone of their right to speak because you don't like what they said. That is a violation of their privileges. So I would encourage you to consider whether this is a matter touching on privilege, and if you find that it is, I will be prepared to move the appropriate motion.
Mr. Janis, let's do it this way. I've been in this position of chair at this committee for a week now. I've served as a committee chair for over 6 years. I notice you've never sat in a position as a committee chair. There's a reason for that, I suspect. Nonetheless, I think that
it's. I mean, I don't know. How does that?
I've been denied anybody an opportunity to speak is verging on laughable, considering we've been here for 7 hours listening to people speak over and over again. This might be your 10th or 11th intervention. I've lost track. So it's an accusation.
Oh my
with no
God.
merit. Having said all that, I think what is the best course of action right now.
That's
our
nuts.
Resources end in a few moments.
I mean, it's like hypocrites on parliamentary language, but that's not unparliamentary.
Question of privilege.
Meeting suspended.
Is that it? I think that's it. I think it's over. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how many, I'm not sure how many, like, actual, amendments the bloc had, but their main one was just that sort of the religious exemption one. So I think once they got that through, they were sort of sitting pretty. All right. As a nightcap, we're going to watch the press gallery dinner. We will start. Also, this was a wild statement from Hodgson about the MOU earlier today.
What's divisive is a conservative government in Alberta signed up for the entire
Oh, you
MOU.
can't see. Sorry.
The entire MOU. The conservative government in the federal government, the Conservatives are trying to cherry pick, to divide. What they should be talking about is the entire MOU. That is what the government of Alberta signed up for, the entire MOU. It is what we have signed up for, the entire MOU. People can have issues with particular pieces, but we are supportive of the entire MOU.
You are supportive, but there are many of your other caucus members who are not supportive.
The caucus is supportive of the entire MOU. People, yes.
That's. I don't even know if. Yeah, it's like that. I think that I don't even know if they followed up with Julie DeBruce, because it's like I don't even know if she would say she agrees. I think he meant like the sort of the overall thrust. They would agree with it as a whole in what it's trying to attempt. But I don't know. But that was sort of that the way it was said. It implies that everyone in the caucus agrees with every part of the MOU. Which, again, blatantly false because, well, I mean, yes, the current cabinet, but not the cabinet when the MOU was signed, because they immediately had someone resign. All right, we're watching press gallery dinner. Here's Carney. I think he did about 20 minutes, because he's prime minister, so let him go long. All right.
Merci Mathieu. Merci mille fois. Je sais ton nom. I'm trying to forget it. Alors, Vos Excellences, le Premier ministre actuel, Premier ministre Simpson.
No, but like I mean, it's hard to say but I mean, he's still in caucus, so it's hard to say that the whole caucus agrees with every part of the legislation.
Premier ministre ancien, Premier ministre Clark, Premier ministre Charest, Premier ministre Kenny, bienvenue. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue ici. Vos Excellences, cabinet colleagues.
Wait.
Premier ministre Charest, Premier ministre Kenny, bienvenue. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue ici.
Jason Kenney and Clark were there. Shoot. I didn't mention them in the. Apologies to them. I didn't mention them in the Party Central. I didn't know they were there, and I didn't hear him say this.
It's a big tent. C'est un grand. I'll talk about l'extrême centre. J'aime l'extrême centre. Hein? The Hélène who said, "Oh my God, my teleprompter's not moving. My God, it's a disaster." Listen, I'm glad we could take a break from my busy schedule to be here this evening. Mia, members of the Executive Committee, thank you, seriously, thank you for this invitation to join the esteemed members of the press gallery this evening. I'll just take a moment, actually, to comment on what we just witnessed. Not that guy. But what we witnessed was shared by...
I think he's talking about Guillaume?
This is the press gallery standing up for liberal racism in this country. Well done. Well done.
Shot at Jamil Giovanni.
I have a different word for it. We used to call it solidarity. Used to be what we were about, liberal racism. No, it's okay. It's all right. As long as it gets the job done. It is a pleasure to be with journalists who empower Canadians with the truth and relentlessly protect our democratic institutions. But enough about rebel news. Hey, they got all the questions for the debate. C'est au centre. I don't know. Anyways. Alors, je voudrais, tiens, à féliciter la gagnante.
This one was a little bit drier than Poilievre's or Don Davies.
Peu de gens lisent les détails de notre démocratie aussi attentivement et fidèlement qu'Hélène Buzetti. Merci, Hélène. Elle donne un sens au processus parlementaire et nous rappelle que les détails sont toujours importants pour assurer une bonne gouvernance. And it was good as well to see Don Newman present the award 28 years, I believe, after he won it.
Don Newman's voice still strong and silky smooth as ever.
If you want to go on YouTube, you can see Don interviewing me when I was governor of the Bank of Canada. Iron fist and the velvet glove meets interminable, unintelligible answer. It's not pretty. Speaking of interminable, now let me turn to my prepared text. Look, Don and I know each other well. We go a long way back. For most of us in this room, you and I have only begun to know each other over the last 11 months. A lot more than I'd like, to be honest. But I suspect, yes, a lot less than you'd hope. So, in the spirit of this evening, I want to go deeper. I want to look back at the hinge that we're living together. And I will do this.
Oh, where is it?
Wait for it.
No, I've missed it. God damn it, where is it?
First point, I promise to keep this light. It's a night for jokes.
Phrasing?
You just start remembering where all the buttons are.
Second point, I promise to keep
This was a fairly good bit.
roughly the length of Champagne's prologue to his budget speech.
I think he talked for like an hour.
I was right there. I wanted to take the pages from him. I wasn't quite sure on parliamentary privilege if we didn't say it. Was it really real? Did it happen? Et troisième point, je promets de tenir compte du pourcentage de Français dans mon discours pour faire gagner du temps à Radio-Can. It's important. Final point. There will be no final point. There will be several.
I thought that was a great joke.
Tonight is a night to look back
You
together.
might be able to see me.
It's a chance to look inside ourselves with Rosie. I like what I see, Rosie, when I look at that. Anyway, what a decade this year has been. 2 prime ministers, 3 new cabinets. Where's that for? 1 election. Yeah, see, you guys are quick. 1 election, another one on the way. Just kidding. Just kidding. Scheer, Reid, you can come in now. Yes, sometimes it felt like I spent more time at Rideau Hall than in question period. And every so often, went abroad. We signed new deals with the EU, with Germany, Indonesia.
I think last week might have been his longest sustained period in Canada in like a very long time.
In our history. $70 billion. There are some who might call that generational. I call it the McDavid Emergency Fund. All of this built on a fast start, unlike the Oilers. Look, Canada's newest government welcomed the King himself to open Parliament in record time. We acted fast to cut taxes for the middle class, all 22 million of them. We cut the consumer carbon tax because it had become divisive for many and obsessive for one. It's still going on. I see it every day. Nous avons coupé la TPS pour les acheteurs de première maison pour que Tatiana Auguste puisse s'acheter un appartement à Ottawa. C'est la preuve que chaque point compte. That's clever. I wrote that myself. Do you guys not?
Speaker of the House, Francis Scarpaleggia.
Every point counts. See, like point off GST and she won by a vote. Is it not funny if you explain it, or even if it's not funny? Okay. Final point. We welcomed the world.
9 more minutes of his speech.
Just 6 weeks after the election.
1 sec.
And I got to tell you, the second day was amazing.
His speech is about the length he usually gives us for questions.
NATO, the G7, G20, APEC, UNGA, ASEAN, FIFA, the YMCA, we demonstrated that Canada's leadership will be defined not only by the strength of our values, but also by the value of our strength. We use that strength to face down an economic trade war and threats to our sovereignty. Because, and I may not have mentioned this before, we are in a crisis. Make no mistake, Canada's brand newest government is acting decisively to protect our country and our identity. And it's working. It is working. For me, at least. Okay. I got promoted from governor to president. I did. And we are all moving forward. We are all moving forward with Budget's 2025's catalytic generational investments in the Eurovision Song Contest. And I'm pleased to announce this evening that Canada's first contestant will be none other than Down with Webster. Because Canada, it's time to win. Okay. That's one for the Ute.
Oh, sorry. All right, we'll finish the last minutes of his speech. And then we'll do Polye's, because Polye, and I guess we'll do Davies. They're all good.
Whereas the national
We're going to do all of...
Final-ish point.
He said, with 9 minutes left.
Surprises during my first months as Prime Minister. For example, I hadn't expected to spend so much time dealing with wildlife. Belugas, ostriches, premiers, except for present company accepted, obviously. Actually, there is no need for a mass cull because the premiers and I are uniting around projects that will diversify our trade, unlock billions in new investment, create hundreds of thousands of high-paying careers. Or as the National Post headline put it, Mark Carney fast-tracks the road to serfdom. I mean, you can't buy that kind of support, even if we do fund it. It's true.
I think second or third largest recipient of government subsidies is Post Media.
Now, speaking of taxpayer-funded purveyors of post-apocalyptic dystopia,
That's a lot of big words.
Francois Blanchet and the Bloc are in the house tonight.
Like how that's what he stumbled over.
No, honnêtement.
He clearly practiced all the other words.
De savoir qui François n'est pas loin. Vous savez, ce que l'on vit en ce moment, ce n'est pas une séparation, c'est une rupture. Oui, nous vivons dans un monde volatile. Et malgré tout, une chose reste certaine, le Bloc va voter contre. Ouais. Merci, ouais. C'est une... Okay, look, it's important. You got to count on a few things.
Translation isn't great on this.
C'est un vrai pilier de stabilité qui nous bouleverse. It's a full house tonight. Just enough room for Dawn and the New Democrats. Dawn, good to see you here. I know it's cheap. It's cheap, Dawn. It's not. I know you've been asking. I'm only going to say this once. Political parties are not eligible for the major projects.
Also, that was a funny... I like that joke. That was a funny joke.
Sorry. Just saying. Elizabeth May is here too. Elizabeth, thank you for standing up. Thank you for standing up and voting yes on the budget. It was incredibly generous of you. Oh.
Elizabeth May is already so pissed about voting for that budget. She was not happy with that joke.
And I join others in not being able to see Pierre Poilievre anywhere here this evening. And don't you find it odd that no one else is willing to give up their seat? Something changed? I don't know. Anyways. Look, if the budget has shown us one thing, it's that every seat counts. And speaking of counting, let me be clear. I can count. Actually, I can also subtract, and I can multiply. Pierre, he just divides.
That was.
I didn't write that. I didn't write that. My okay. Actually, I did. Et soyons clairs. Je sais compter, même je sais calculer. C'est pourquoi je sais que j'ai maintenant 16% de français dans mon discours de ce soir. Et je suis sûr que la table de Radio Cannes compte aussi. Laurence, ça suffit? Bon, d'accord, ce n'est pas encore suffisant. Fait, excusez-moi, ça fait que nous allons devoir faire plus de français. Ah oui, les boys, ne vous inquiétez pas. Je peux encore ajouter d'autres sections sur le bloc. Même si le bloc va voter contre cette idée-là. Y a-t-il une autre langue officielle? On en perd le fil. Speaking of keeping track, when did I last speak to President Trump? I mean, did we text? Like recently? Any emojis? Did he like my Insta with Macron? These are all great questions. They are worth flying halfway around the world to ask. One question, one follow-up. Did you text Trump? Oh, geez. They're great questions, and I should answer them because sharing is caring. I do care. But I do. Scott, I do. The other Scott Reed. He's here. He's here all night. He'll be at the after party. You'll be at the after party. But look, I'm going to share another time because, look, I've been busy. I'm standing on business. Booked and busy. Is this how it's done? Am I looking into the right camera? Will this do numbers on X? Should I turn up the rage bait? Fuck. I think all that
Drops an F-bomb.
I think all that
Forgot about that.
TikTok clip farming in the house is beginning to influence me. C'est cringeanta. It won't happen again, Mr. Speaker. It won't happen again. From now on, Canada's brand spanking new government will be locked in. What's that, Mr. Speaker? My 35 seconds are up already? Okay.
That was 20 minutes.
Final point.
It's 20 minutes, dude.
Mario Cuomo famously said that politicians campaign in poetry and govern in prose. I campaigned in haiku. We're governing in econometrics. Can't even say it. Yep, I'm not a politician, and I'm obviously not a comedian. I am a pragmatist. And so to get out of here alive from now on, I am going to pander. Nearly 2 centuries ago, Nova Scotia's Joseph Howe stressed that an open and unshackled press is one of the strongest legacies that we can leave for future generations. And around the world, that legacy is under threat. I am proud that Canada continues to support and celebrate a free press, and I will defend it to my last day. Au-delà de votre contribution essentielle à notre démocratie, vous avez aidé à bâtir une nation ouverte, forte et confiante. Plus que toute menace, ce sont nos propres histoires qui nous unissent, les moments qui nous ont rassemblés en tant que Canadiens et Canadiennes. Le dernier crampon du chemin de fer canadien-pacifique, le marathon de l'espoir de Terry Fox, l'Expo 67, le pont de la Confédération, le but en or des Jeux olympiques d'hiver de 2010. Events, many others that have become nation-building milestones. And it's the stories that you share, the distinct, diverse voices that you elevate, that remind us all that we're part of something bigger. Your stories become the foundations of our common citizenship, with all our rights and responsibilities, all our tragedies and triumphs. That's more than worth protecting. And tonight is something that's well worth celebrating. So now, I'm happy not to take your questions. Sauf en français. Merci beaucoup, and have a good night.
All right. Apologies to Davies and Polyev. Maybe we'll stream tomorrow, depending on when I get home. You guys might get spoiled this week. We'll watch Polyev's and Davies tomorrow for sure, because Polyev's is great. I actually have a story coming out in about an hour, technically. Just sort of on how they got Polyev to the press gallery dinner, and more importantly, how they kept it a secret. So look out for that. But I am exhausted. I gotta get up for caucus meetings tomorrow. So see y'all maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Saturday. So I think we're gonna raid Maple Takes. I don't know if I can do that from 23. Oh, sorry, 23. Wow, I see. I didn't see your thing. But yes, Quebec is. Well, I don't know. Yes, I did. You're even still there. 23 YYC, but I don't even think in that particular committee meeting, I don't think the bloc got what they wanted. So I don't know if they were upset. What's Maple Takes doing? What's he talking about? Why is this muted?
It doesn't matter which of these presidents you hate the least or which one you think is the sleepiest. At the end of the day, Micron is taking money from the American people under bipartisan support, and it is then fucking
Thanks for hanging out for
by killing its consumer-facing line of memory.
Almost 5 hours. Good googly moogly.
Failing to pay its fair share.
Appreciate y'all.
These subsidies from the government to build labs and do
see you
R&D
soon.
come from taxpayer money. Look, if only
do not
the
look at.
proportionality of the impact.
Do not pay attention to my room.
These mega corporations rarely pay their fair share anyway. This money is being taken from
Alrighty.
the people of the United States
and rating. Bye-bye now. Thanks, Fiona. Take care. Maybe see you tomorrow or see you on Saturday. One of the two. Nighty night. Good night and good luck, everybody. And on YouTube, adios.